See what your science has made, human.
Meat? Okay, hello there by the way. Sometimes our damage outcome is way lower than we are expecting, and one of the major reasons is the range we are shooting from. Among different stats our pupils have, this one actually does matter a lot. And I honestly don't know how it works, but instead of looking up for a guide on YouTube, I'm gonna make my own. So, weapons range affects your damage and auto-aim probability, but we're gonna check just damage. The distance you're shooting from additionally affects your stealth status, but I'm gonna get closer, and even without weapon I'm gonna be fine, thanks to high amount of agility. Though single shot sniper builds are not super popular in the game, but I strongly recommend you to try them out, if you are bored. Fallout 76 operates with Imperial system. I'm not a friend with, and struggled a lot as a mechanical engineer, but to make things easy here, we're gonna use feet anyways. So here's our target, here's 200 feet marker, and here's the maximum distance we can deal damage from, approximately 470 feet. Obviously maybe I'm wrong and the real distance is 500 feet for example, but that's what I got. Here you can see numbers I used to measure distance. I found on Reddit that each foundation is 12 by 12 feet. I bluntly believe this data, but actually tested with weapons, and can confirm that indeed they are 12 by 12 feet. The maximum distance to deal damage from I measured using 200 feet marker, camp build mod and ruler. I crafted few webs I named after range numbers they have, and here's my 72 pipe gun. Actually, the maximum distance can differ from weapon to weapon, but I have a theory I'm gonna come back to later. We have weapons with epic range, weapons with bugged range, but actually let's get concentrated on ballistic type of weapons with this range. I'm not talking about the number, but mechanic itself behind ballistic pupils, cause launchers are different in this regard. So since I mentioned flamer, let's see what we have. Vaporization nozzle used to be OP until Bethesda showed a middle finger to fighter with fire dudes like me. Anyways, we should be able to throw fire at 228 feet distance, but in reality is around 13-14 feet. Standard nozzle deals less damage but at higher range. The description says 288 feet, but nope. We have been lied for 5 years. And I strongly believe that real flamers should be able to fire stuff up at 288 feet, because why not? Well, in this case, 48. Holy moly, fire is a special flamer that makes it blue. But the range is a little bit lower, let me show you. No worries, it's like 1 foot less. Just in case, let me show you that I'm super close to 48 feet marker. Fire from the hole! Yay. I have a crazy conspiracy theory that actually a normal flamer has a little bit better range only because the barrel is just visually longer and the range is calculated from its tip. But it is my crazy talking. By the way, did you see that I dealt 69 damage? Let's try from here and 69 damage. So the range doesn't affect damage. And I can say the same about vaporization nozzle. Let's try 92, and from here 92. Okies, back to ballistic weapons and how everything works here. I set myself at 12 feet and this shotty has 12 range and 2 damage. His brother has 24 range and deals 12 damage. But if we use 12 feet range shotty and shoot from 6 feet distance, we're gonna deal the same amount of damage as 24 feet range shotty at 12 feet distance. Wow, 24 feet range shotty deals as well 12 damage at 6 feet distance. If we are out of range for both shotties, let's say like 30 feet, the damage will be the same in both cases. 2 here, let's try another one. And 2. Let me explain once again, but using our 72 feet range pipe dude. If you remember my crazy conspiracy theory, the range can be calculated from the tip of the barrel. So 72 feet here is not super precise if we use different weapons. So let's stick with just this one. 72 feet range dude and 7 damage. So if I shoot from 72 feet and further, I gonna deal only 7 damage. But if I get closer, I deal more damage, in this case 9. Let's go a little bit like this. 75 feet and 7 damage. And now let's try to shoot from like 100 feet or something like this. 7 damage. And what about 200 feet or even further? Let's go like this. And 7 damage. From 36 feet, it's like half of the range, I deal 26 damage. And if we try at super close range, like here, 26 damage. If we take the distance between half range until full range and shoot from 6 feet further every time, we can see how gradually the damage goes down. So if you actually want to maximum your damage, you must be no further from your target than 60% of the number shown in stats. And I hope now it's kinda clear why sometimes your damage against Scorch Beach is sucky. I repeated the test with handmade that has 102 feet range, and the result was more or less the same except for 60 feet distance, that actually did not increase damage too much, only by 1 point. Finally, for Black Powder Rifle, I tried to find the furthest point where I deal the maximum damage, based on previous data. Here I got 179 damage, the maximum is 180, so I'm standing at 232 feet more or less, so let's make it 230 and it would be 58% of the maximum range. I mean just range, 395. So if we use BPP at 220 feet or closer, we're gonna deal the maximum damage, and I'm not sure at what distance you actually can auto aim, but BPP definitely is effective way beyond any imaginable range. Of course, it should be super clear that short barrels are completely useless in Fallout 76, even for dungeon type gameplay. 100 feet is like 30 meters, so you have to deal damage within 18 meters if you want to get better results. But for those who run sniper builds and love to maintain distance, there is no actual difference between low and high range. The damage will be the same in this regard. Well, ladies and gents, I hope it helped you to understand how this mechanic works. I'm super close to 3k subscribers after 3 years on YouTube, so if you want to make me Happy New Year and marry my channel Christmas, you know what to do. Big thank you for watching, I'll see you later, bye bye.